Hi there, welcome back to Soaring Soul. Today we have another pick a card reading for you, and today I'm going to use the back of the deck for you to choose. Normally I turn it over, but I felt drawn to use the backs of the deck, so you can pick pile 1, pile 2, pile 3 and seeing what deck it is you're drawn to. I will use all the decks in the readings, but just see which one you're drawn to most. Pile 1 is The Oracle of the Fairies by Karen Kay. This is, oh, the ring light's in the way. This is what the back of the card looks like. Pile number 2 is The Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I'm kind of holding this at the sides of the ring light, isn't casting a shadow or a reflection. But anyway, that's what that one looks like. Or the Moonology Manifestation deck by Yasmin Boland. If you're drawn to that one, that's what the back of that deck looks like. And if you'd like to just use crystals or use them to help you decide, here's the crystal for pile number 1. Here is the crystal for pile number 2. I love the inclusions in that one. And here is the crystal for pile number 3. So whatever is speaking to you intuitively, I'll leave this running for a couple of minutes now to give you some time to choose. Just go with whatever you're drawn to. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose The Oracle of the Fairies by Karen Kay. I'm using all the decks, like I said, but I have picked a significator card from that deck, along with this lovely rose quartz crystal. I have brought in the Angel Answers deck by Radley Valentine, just in case we need a little bit more clarity, and some tea leaves. So let's see what we get. I'm going to take these first, but I'm going to set them aside. I'm not sure we'll necessarily need them in the reading, but I'm going to pick them anyway. Oh, 2 yellow ones. I'm going to pop them to the side in case we do. Okay, let's see. These are our Oracle decks. Let's see what we get. Really feeling the top one and the top 2. The Elemental Oracle. Oh, there we go. Immediately drawn. And Yasmin Boland. This one is the wrong way up, so we're going to take them. Have I got a few the wrong way up? Okay, I'm going to reshuffle them because I think they're probably, I had shuffled these cards though. Okay, if they're meant to come out, they're going to come out again. See what we get. Okay, and then some tea leaves. Let's tuck these up, leave us room to pull our tea leaves. Oh, that purple one definitely wants to come. This one, and that one. Okay, that's all I'm feeling for the tea leaves. All right, let's see. So let's have a look at your significator card first. So let's see what that's telling us. That is so interesting because before I shuffle the deck, I just thought, oh, I need a card to show the back of. And I didn't shuffle the deck. I just pulled the card from the bottom and put it down. And then I said to myself, no, I better shuffle that deck with the intention of a significator card. And that's the same card that's come out again. I shuffled the deck this time. And the reason it had been on the bottom was because I had used it in a previous reading. And I just stacked them. That's so interesting. So listen, protection is a message. Let's see what else is coming through. I'm really, really drawn to the circle though. I'm really drawn to the circle of women, or the circle there. Okay, goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. Dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. I'm just gonna get back to the basics. Interesting, it's just talked about something that we do in the past, and then you did in the past, and then get back to the basics. And August. All right, let's see what else we've got. Abundance. Wow. So we've got an increase in material wealth. We've got financial gain. We've got abundance. Moderation. Motivation. Can you see that if I put that there? Not quite. Okay, let's just cut her top off a little bit. And we'll cut her top off a little bit, and then I think you can get them all in. Interesting. Elemental Oracle. Completion, or West. The equator to make equal. There's numbers on these, which I'm being drawn to. And connection. See the bottom of that. Let's see. Let's push, push, push. Okay, and then we just took two. Detoxify. Very interesting. We've got moderation and detoxify, and focus on the positive. Okay. We've got room now if we need to pull something else. So let's feel into this and see what we're getting. The immediate messages. Okay, let's go to the moderator, or the, it's not the moderator card. Significator card. Let's go there first and feel into the protection. When I say protection, I feel like rather than protection, you need to focus on, and the protection will come, people who have your best interest at heart. I'm being drawn to certain people in your life who almost, not from a place of nastiness, but just from a place of their own insecurities, are happy enough to see you not doing as well as you could. That's what's coming to me immediately. And that there are people in your life who genuinely, absolutely will, I've just seen this almost dance, who will rejoice in you being the very best version of yourself that you can be. So there's where we need to place our focus. You know, tune into your intuition. Just spend some time and sit with it and ask yourself the question, who is it in your life that it validates themselves and their being if you're doing certain things or holding yourself back in a certain way that keeps them comfortable, makes them feel comfortable. This is not malicious on their part. Definitely don't feel like it's malicious. I almost feel like it's subconscious. Well, conscious, but they're not really doing it intentionally. It's just kind of how they feel. That it's something that you do together almost, or them just watching you. Remember, this is a collective reading, so it's very hard to get into real nitty gritty, but there's definitely a number of you out there where there's people, probably could be said for most of us actually, so this is probably a message for everybody. There's people in your lives who, whether consciously or subconsciously, are happy enough to not see you being the very best version of yourself that they can be, because it makes them comfortable, keeps you a reliable source for them, and it validates their own actions. So I think you need to focus on, like I said, the people in your life who have your absolute, who will rejoice in you being the very best version of you that you can be. I think that's important. I think this moderation and detoxify, I think you know. I think you've probably asked yourself the question already. There are certain things in your life that could be considered toxic, and you carry on doing them, and you know the answer is moderation. I'm getting this to make equal. Did I see moderation somewhere? Where did I see moderation? Oh, there. Look, right beside each other. Moderation to make equal. Whatever this thing is for you, this is not a message of you absolutely must stop doing it. I think you need to take a much healthier approach to it. I think that cycle needs to, I'm feeling like you have had this conversation inwardly with yourselves. I'm not going to bang on about it. You know what I'm talking about. You know this makes sense. This is coming out in your cards. The moderation, the make equal, that I don't think you have, a life destroying addiction of any kind, but I do think you know that you need to balance things off a bit more, approach things a bit more moderately. And with that comes the detoxify, feeling a little bit of kind of heat or inflammation in the body. And I think, balancing this, whatever this is, off will bring more comfort actually in your body. I think this circle of people who have your best interest at heart, just surrounding yourself now with the right people. I'm not saying cut anybody out of your life, but I'm saying reevaluate some of your relationships and maybe just do a reshuffle in order of not importance, but kind of importance. Do a little bit of reshuffle on the priority that certain individuals take and how they influence your life and who you listen to. I think these people really have your interest at heart. I think you need to listen to the things that they have to say to you. You know who they are, and if you don't, just sit with it. But you do know. You might be denying it, but you do know. You know who's good for you and who's not so good for you right now. And you need to just shift your priorities to focus on those that are good for you. I think you've been holding yourself back, and old habits are holding you back. You need to release those old habits, and I feel like there's a surge forward. There's a surge forward for you. Once you kind of do this little bit of work, readjust who you're listening to, who you're allowing to influence your life, balance all this off, that little bit of a detoxification, and I know you're going to enter a whole new cycle. And that cycle for you is going to bring lots of abundance, financial gain. I've just heard get back to the basics. So is there something that you have always wanted to do? I'm feeling like it's something from when you were much, much younger that, in an ideal world, I'd have done. As in, it's formed part of the basics of what it was you used to say about the person you wanted to be. I feel like you need to get back to that. Revisit some of that stuff. It's something that you once really wanted and you've kind of gotten distracted along the way. So it's time to revisit the basics of what it was you wanted to achieve in your life. Do this work, get the order of people right, and then start reflecting on that. And with that is going to come motivation and focus on the positive. So, I've just seen like a laser vision. You're going to have laser vision. You got to have laser vision, motivation, focusing on the positive of what it is that you want to achieve. Go back yourself, work out what it is. Again, this is general reading. I can't pinpoint it, but I do know it's something that was important, or at one point you thought it was important that you would achieve in your life. And I feel like life's gotten in the way, as it does for most of us so often. And a little bit of reevaluation and the focus and the motivation. Focus on the positive. Focus on this, the material wealth, the abundance. So abundance in all things, right? It's not just money. It's also this. I've just been drawn to the release any mental blocks. It's money, it's health, it's happiness, it's, the abundance of all things in your life. It's there for you. And I think you just need to have a quick reshuffle of priorities in all things. Motivation, focus on the positive, move forward. And I think that's almost going to complete a cycle for you, and that the next phase, I'm just saying this as a goal circle, I know it's not, but that the next phase will be your golden years. Not as in getting old golden years, but in, your glory days. Just I just got a flash of Tina Turner saying that in her documentary. The next phase will be your glory days. That's what it feels like to me. And everything that you've experienced up to now has built towards that and has prepared you for that. And that's what it feels like. I'm going to have a quick look and see what these said. Within the next few months and wait. Interesting. So what I'm feeling there is, so we got August here within the next few months. So that, I suppose you could say that applies to anything, but it feels about right. I feel like the wait for me is take the time to do this. Take the time to put in the thought, the intention setting, the self-evaluation, the evaluation of relationships. This is not knee-jerk. Okay, today I'm never going to drink alcohol again. That's what's going to my mind. Today I'm never going to drink alcohol again. I'm going to cut out those pals that I used to drink with. And Mary's really positive, so she's the person that I think you need to take a little bit of time to focus on this, because this has been the culmination of your life so far. So you can't just, well, maybe you can, but I don't think the message is to dismantle it right now. I think the message is to take a bit of time to think it all through and then make your move. And I think by August, within the next few months, by August, this is going to be a much clearer picture of, I think you'll have done the work. I think you'll have done the hard work. I'd say this is going to be the hardest work, is the, finding the balance, the detoxification of more than just your body, the reevaluation and the reshuffling of the order of importance of relationships in terms of who you listen to, who you allow to influence you. That's going to take work. But once you get there, this is the tough bit. I don't think it's going to be overly hard for you. I think actually you've had most of the conversations with yourself already. You may not want to admit that, but I do think you have. And from August, in the next few months, moves the next part of your life. That's what it feels like to me. And I was about to say, this is a timeless reading, and it is a timeless reading whenever it comes up for you is right. So if it turns up in August, well then, all these changes are going to happen in the next few months. I was about to say it's timeless, but actually for a lot of you, it's, you're going to see it now, and August is going to be, this August coming, this is April 2025. But whenever this shows up in your reality, there's a message here for you, so take what you will. That has been your message. I hope it resonated. It would be really helpful if you enjoyed it to like the video. I'd love to know if it resonated with you, or if there's something you'd like to share based on what you've heard. That would be fantastic. And it would be really great if you would subscribe. Small channels, really hard to get growing, and it really, all those things, while they seem simple to you, they are huge and they really, really help. So that would be fantastic if you would please. In the description, there are links to my website and other services that I offer, as well as timestamps and things. So have a look through there and see if you'd like to get in touch and connect further. Thank you so much. Hope it resonated. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. You chose the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. As I said, I will be reading from all the decks, or using all the decks in the reading, but I did take a card from the Elemental Oracle as your significator card for this reading, so to set the overall tone. So let's have, we'll come back to that actually. Let's do the shuffling and selecting of cards first. I've also introduced the tea leaves and the little Angel Answers Oracle by Radley Valentine. I don't usually use those in readings, but I just felt drawn to them today. Okay. Let's see what we're going to get for you. Ooh, drawn to, ooh, there we go. I may not use the Angel Answers, but they want to come. But I'll pull them and set them aside just to see if we need any more clarity in the reading. All right, and then your tea leaves. Let's see what we get. Okay, you want to come. You want to come. They're such a slippy little deck. You want to come. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Only 4. Sometimes we get absolutely loads of tea leaves. Just 4 today. All right, let's see what the significator card says. Fluidity. Interesting. Outer core, fluidity. All right, let's see what this means. So, for your tea leaves, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. The minute I read fluidity, I'm going to start down here. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. The minute I read fluidity, I felt like, ooh, change, motion, happiness, flowers with happiness, obstacles to overcome, the hills, and a meeting with a stranger could be important. Interesting. Okay, let's see then what we've got from our oracle cards. Fairy spotting. Oh, again, I think I'll start with them down here because it makes them easier to overlay. Fairy spotting. Tree wisdom, interesting. Sorry. And hope. All right. Ignition. Fire, ignition. Fury. Bushfires, more fire. Darkness. Moon. Go deeper. Take a breather. And I know you are loved. Okay. So, let me feel into this and see what we're getting. Right. So, I'm still feeling, I'm not changing tact after reading the cards or after seeing the cards. I'm still feeling like fluidity means change in motion. Change and motion, not change in motion. I feel like you know that it's time for a shift in your life. You know this. You are battling it slightly, but you're definitely feeling the urge to move, to take the step. I think that's where you need to tune into your intuition. So what I felt from these three was fairy spot and tree wisdom, very much magic. I think tuning into your intuition, your spiritual side. I know by definition you'd say a lot of people who watch these videos must be spiritual, and that's true, but you get people who aren't too, and people who aren't necessarily in tune with their spirituality, but they do enjoy the messages and get something from them. You need to go deeper with your spiritual side. Tune in, look for the magic, the tree wisdom. I think the whisperings are all around you of what it is you need to do, what direction it is you need to go in, where it is you want to end up. And I'm feeling this fire that's come up twice, ignition and fury, is two things. I feel like, and even if you look here, there's some sparks behind her in the darkness. Okay, I'm feeling like right now, although you're not, you're surrounded by people. Your life is busy. Your life can be chaotic. I'm feeling you a little bit of chaos. Not in a nasty, but just busy. That's the way your life is. But yet you feel in darkness. You feel like you're not doing what lights you up. You're feeling like the spark inside you is being stifled by what's happening around you currently. And I know that the spark needs to be lit, and it's tuning into your intuition and feeling back into the magic that surrounds you, feeling back into nature. Just opening up your spiritual pathways is what's going to reignite that spark. And this fire for me is double-edged. It's going to represent the burning down of certain parts of your life. And that ties in with the obstacles. I think that's where the obstacles lie, is letting go of some of the old things. Because you are in a place now that you wished to get to. You worked hard to get where you are, to bring this life that you have now into fruition. And now you're realizing, I'm not as fulfilled as I thought I'd be. But I spent so much time working towards this, wishing for this, working hard for this, whatever. So what? You're not the same version of yourself that it was that wanted to be exactly where you are now. And if you've achieved everything that you wanted to achieve, from a vision board that you did 12 years ago, great, good for you. That doesn't mean you're the same person who did the vision board 12 years ago. So it's okay to want to change. It's okay to want to move on. It's okay to want to do something different. The obstacles will come in the barriers that will be thrown up for you in various parts of your life as you try to change these things, manipulate these things, and let these things fall away. And that's where the fluidity, it's change, but I'm feeling, the minute it came out, I felt like a meandering, like a river. I feel like you will twist and turn a little bit before you get to where you want to be. Happiness does lie ahead, though. I don't feel like you're very unhappy now, but I do think a different level of freedom and happiness lies ahead if you tune into your intuition and just work out what it is you actually want from your life now. And you might change that again in 5 years, but hey, so what? A meeting with a stranger could be important. I immediately felt like that is, a meeting with a stranger is actually you finding your spiritual teacher. That's what it feels like to me, who will help open up in you. Now, that could be somebody who you follow online. That could be somebody who you actually come across in your life. That could be a chance meeting, as is what happened with me, a very chance meeting that you have with somebody that actually leads you on a path to unraveling your whole thought system as it is now, and taking you on that spiritual path, making you look at things differently, and in turn opening up a whole new side of your life. It's an amazing journey. There's tough days in it. Absolutely there is. It's not easy. A spiritual kind of awakening is never easy. But I think be open. I think that's how your spiritual teacher is going to manifest. Through a chance meeting with a stranger. Like I said, is that somebody who you meet who puts you on to somebody, or is it someone you stumble across on your For You page? It's going to be something like that. That's going to bring your spiritual teacher in. And your spiritual teachers can change. I have had a few. Some of them I've known very personally. Some of them I have only watched from afar, via their online presence. But you get something from them all. And they're all still spiritual teachers, although I resonate with different ones at different times, and new ones are always entering, and that's fantastic. And again, it's part of that fluidity. If you open up your thinking to, let's say, Kyle Gray is the one that I find, I love Kyle, and I'm really into the angels, but in 2 years time, 18 months time, 12 months time, you might find you're into somebody completely different, and actually their version of spirituality. It doesn't mean that you still don't work with the angels and love them, and but actually you've discovered this thing is a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole, and there are various paths in it. And so, yeah, prepare yourself to go down the rabbit hole. But anyway, that's what I'm feeling for you right now. These feel like messages of, these feel like messages of you're grand. It's okay. So know you are loved. So it does feel like sometimes as we change, as we, metamorphosize, particularly on a spiritual path, and you start talking about things that other people in your life have no clue of and think you're bam sometimes, but you're loved. I have been surprised by the people in my life that have listened to some of my ramblings. Very left-brain people who you'd think, they'll write me off as a cuckoo, as a lunatic, as oh God, what's your one on about? But actually I have been surprised time and time again by many people that they are very interested. Actually, the people that I've come across that are actually in the closet spiritually themselves, but dabbling with loads of stuff behind the scenes, has shocked me. But also just some people who are just interested and happy for me to be and do what I want to be. And you get the odd person who looks at you funnily, but they hold so many of us back from embarking on our spiritual path, from being who we want to be, from sharing the message we want to share. But yet they're such a minority. Lots of people actually don't care enough to be interested in what you're doing. They're like, oh great, yeah, brief topic conversation, move on. The people who are closest to you, most of them will be supportive actually. You'll get the odd one who won't, but they'll eventually come around. But anyway, listen, the naysayers actually are in the minority, even though sometimes they sound the loudest to us. So know you are loved. There is nothing to fear there. Your core relationships, your core circle, actually, you're loved, and they're going to love you no matter what it is you decide to do with your life or what you're into. Take a breather and go deeper. These feel, even the colors are the same, so these feel very linked. So take a breather and go deeper. And I'm ending on this because it almost feels like the next step. That's your next step. Take a breather and feel into what this has just said. Hope came up, but I'm actually more drawn to the picture. I'm drawn to the picture. It almost feels like she's coming out of hibernation and looking to the sky, kind of looking at the light. That's what I'm more drawn to than the word hope. So this is, yeah, I feel like that's what could be ahead for you if you take these steps. Take your breather, go deeper, feel into what is it that I want. Use your intuition. Happiness lies ahead. Doesn't mean there won't be obstacles, but open your circle. Be open to this meeting with a stranger. Again, it could be just someone on your For You page. Maybe it's me. Maybe for you, the start of the trigger of change for you is stumbling across this video on YouTube. But you're in the darkness now, not in an unhappy place, but there's definitely sparks to be ignited. We'll have the burning down of certain parts, and then you're going to have the passion. So there's a reason why this fire is here twice. It's the burning down of things that you want to release, and it's going to be the passion that's going to ignite in your belly when you decide what you want and you go for it. And like I said, this path is meandering. That's what the fluidity is representing. I've just realized all the water actually on that card do make sense. It's fluid. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing for you. It feels, I can feel your apprehension. I can feel your nervousness. But I know when you take the breath and go deeper and tune into your intuition, you're going to know this reading, you were meant to hear it. And you're going to know that tuning back into your magic will take you out of the darkness, burning down parts of your life. It's going to ignite a fire in you. You're loved, you're safe, and happiness lies ahead. Happiness lies ahead. The reading is for entertainment purposes only, of course. But tune into your intuition. So we hear these, we hear readers on the internet all the time. Don't blindly just go, oh yeah, that's what I'll do. You got to tune into your own intuition. There's where your answers will come from. These readings merely prompt the thought. They sow the seed of the thought for you to tune in and decide what's best for your own life. Anyway, this has been your reading. Good luck to you. It's quite exciting. This has been your reading. I hope it resonated. If you enjoyed it, I would love if you would please leave a like on the video. Even better, a comment would be fantastic if something resonated. I would really appreciate that. And all importantly, if you would subscribe too, never to miss an upload, but also it really, really helps little pages like mine grow. Thank you so much. Hope to see you next time. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Moonology Manifestation Oracle by Yasmin Boland. Of course, I said I will read from all, but that is the deck that your significator card came from. So let's have a look and see what the cards hold for you. Let's see what's popping out. Ooh, I've only been picking 3 from that deck, but there's definitely 4 here. I want 2. Let's see. Okay, well, that's what wants to come. And I have introduced the tea leaves, but also Radley Valentine's Angel Answers deck. Now, I have been shuffling and setting aside 2 cards from that deck to see if we need them towards the end for a little more clarity. Okay, it's your oracle cards. Let's see what your tea leaves hold. Ooh. Lives. Okay, they all came from the same spot. Right, Let's see what we've got. So we'll start with your significator card that came from your chosen deck, the deck you were drawn to. And take a breather. That came out in the last, not as a significator obviously, but that came out in the last reading too. So if you're drawn to pile number 2, or you were drawn to pile number 2, take a listen. There might be a message there. In all likelihood there is. That came out as a significator. Okay, let's see what your tea leaves hold. So, someone will gossip about all your secrets, the parrot. Ooh, I'm getting some feelings already, but strong emotion, passionate love or hate. Older man, dealings or relationship with an older man. Peacock, beware of great pride. Oh, I've got a lot of tea leaves here. I've only had 4 in the other readings. Great worry over nothing. A stubborn, aggressive person. Charming. Discord among friends or family. And moon, changes in your life. Okay, so reading number 2 was all about changes in the life. And I've already mentioned that. So have a look at that one too if it resonates. Let me pop this one here. Okay. Let's see. Before I decide where we're going with this, let me. Inspiration. Fairy spotting. Tree was, oh my god, these all came out in, well, these 2 came out in pile number 2. I'd really recommend that you go and have a read. So did this one. I did shuffle the deck and they all came out beside each other. That is interesting. Okay, there's definitely a message in pile number 2 for you as well. Okay, clarity, mountain, bravery, oceans. Actually, I'm going to put them like that because there's numbers. They may come into the reading. Let's see. Work through your feelings. So this is the deck that you were drawn to. I probably should have picked that one first. But anyway, I didn't. Work through your feelings. Relax. Release your blocks. Okay. I've been getting a really strong feeling. I've been getting a really strong feeling right back here. Like right back when I was first revealing the cards that have come for you. That you have built a life. I really recommend listening to pile number 2 as well, because I do think these are really closely linked. That you've built a life for yourself. That on the face of it, and at one point in your life, you could have only dreamed of. And that it is important to you how people view you, how they view your life, what you do, your outward appearance, the things that you have, where you live, all those kind of the material things as well. But I think inwardly, that's not bringing you, and again, this was very similar message to pile number 2. This inwardly, this is not bringing you the message, the peace that you thought it would, that you assumed it would. I think you worry what people think about you. This great worry over nothing felt to me like, and somebody I know who is this way sprung into my mind. So this message, you know, I've got that message. So it's the traits of that person that I'm feeling for you. This person, Stepford Wives just came to mind. This person is, you know, likes to appear, and a lovely person, not a bad person, you know, not a, you know, a super kind person. She's a super kind person. But this person likes to appear almost like a Stepford wife. And it's really important what people think, how things look from the outside. And they put immense pressure on themselves because of those things, because of that. People are going to talk about you anyway. Where did I get that from? Where did I see that? I saw that somewhere. Anyway, people are going to talk about you anyway. People are going to talk about you whether or not you've got, on the face of it, the most perfect life and you're perfect in all roles that you undertake. They're going to talk about you then. And they're going to talk about you if you say, sod this is not not the way I want to be. That doesn't mean you don't want every part of your life. This is not the way I want to be. I want to do something else. They're going to talk about you then too. They're going to talk about you anyway. Right? So you might as well get what you want from this life. Get what you want to achieve. Have a really fulfilling... Now, I'm not saying your life is not fulfilling. It is. What you have now, and this was the same message for pile number 2, what you have now, you could have only dreamed of. You did dream of. This, if 12-year-old you, this was your perfect life. But you're not 12-year-old you anymore. You're enter age here you. And that person has lived a lot more, has a lot more wisdom, has a much deeper understanding of things, of all things. And actually, whilst, yes, people would look at your life and many people wish for it, and it doesn't mean you don't, you're not unhappy with your life, but there's more. And I think this drive to appear perfect is probably straining some relationships and almost bringing out the worst in some relationships. So this stubborn, aggressive person, that isn't you. It's definitely not you. And this dealing's a relationship with an older man. I actually feel like the older man, this is not him either. I actually feel like the older man is going to be a source of wisdom for you. I actually feel like the older man is somebody who you will be able to chat to and they'll actually really help you. Beware of great pride. That's what it is. It's this pride in appearing perfect, doing everything really well. And actually, this discord between family or friends, great worry, that's what you worry about, and it doesn't bring out the best in your relationships because I suppose maybe it doesn't always feel authentic. Oh, there it is. Someone will gossip about you and all your secrets. I don't necessarily think they'll talk about all your secrets. I think people will talk about you anyway, no matter what you do. So I think that you should step out, reevaluate. So take a breather. So again, this was the final message, one of the final messages in reading number 2, and it was take a breather. Take some time now. Take some time now to just breathe, to just be, to feel into what you want. So again, this fairy spot and tree wisdom, I hope all of these things come out. But this fairy spot and the tree wisdom very much felt like just a reconnection with your intuition, a reconnection to the unseen powers that be, including your own magic, and not worrying what our materialistic, misogynistic society expects of you, being all things to all people in the most perfect way. It's an impossibility. It's tiring. It is tiring. It's exhausting. And there's no time when you're trying to do all of that. There's no time to do anything else. When you're trying to be the perfect person and create the perfect life in all things outwardly, there's no time for anything else. You're worrying over what people think of you now, and you're worrying about making the change. And there is no need to worry about making the change. There just isn't. I think tuning into your intuition, reconnecting with your magic, taking this breather is going to bring the clarity that you need to move forward. In the last reading, I saw this card differently. For you, I do think you need hope. I do think you do have hope. Your life is wonderful. I'm not saying it's not, but you're tired. You're tired. And your relationships with people, I think, will be better if you're more authentic with yourself and what you value. And what you value might have changed. And that is okay. You're not the same person you were when you dreamt about the life you have now. Your life will always be your life. So where you live, your family, all of that type of stuff, that stuff that has been important, great. It still is important, but it's not the only thing. Stop trying to appear perfect all the time. Tune into your intuition. Spend some time in nature. Just feel the energy. Open yourself up to magic again. The inspiration, the clarity will come, but you need the bravery. The bravery. I don't actually think, I'm not feeling the aggressive person. I actually think the stubbornness might be you. Because just as I said bravery, immediately my eye landed on the stubborn. You're stubborn in wanting to, in the life that you've cultivated and the appearance of the life that you've cultivated, you're stubborn about that being really, really important. And it is, but it's not the most important thing. You need to be brave. You need to look to yourself and go, okay, what else do I want from my life? Is it really that important? I think that's what, and then the bravery comes in, letting that perfect facade drop a little bit while you do some other stuff, while you explore other magic. Work through your feelings. I think the feelings right now, when you look at them, admit them to yourself, feel quite heavy. You need to disentangle yourself from that pride and that wanting to be perfect. And that's the strong emotion. You are invoking strong emotions in yourself by putting the pressure on yourself to appear perfect and brilliant at everything. And look, aren't I fantastic? And that is not coming from a bad place. You are not a bad person. You're a fantastic person. But it's bringing up strong emotions, and it's bringing out traits in family and friends and those relationships that they could be better. They're not bad, but they could be better. There's some negative emotions. I feel like coming from others because they don't feel like it's authentic. I think you have a smile plastered on your face all the time in this perfect Stepford wife mode. I'm not saying you're a wife, I don't know, but that's just, those kind of, everything's perfect, everything's smiley. If you've ever seen that movie, it's very good. In this perfect mode, and it doesn't feel authentic to people, probably because their higher self knows that there's so much more in you, there's so much magic in you. I think you can still retain all the things that are important. You will still retain all the things that are important to you, but I think you just need to have a little word with yourself and reevaluate what the most important things to you are and what emotions you have around them that maybe aren't bringing out the best in you. Even though you're a great person, you're kind, you're a good person, you've on the face of it a perfect life, but that's costing you a lot to keep that on the face of it going. It's a block that you need to release. Set your intention, tune in, find the magic, just let go, let it drop. One thing that you absolutely feel like you have to do, like, do you feel like I have to hoover my floors? I don't know, that's sprung to mind. I have to hoover my floors every day, or I have to hoover my floors every other day. Maybe start by don't one day, see what happens. You get my point? Something that you think you have to do to maintain this perfect state of being, don't do it and see what happens. I think you will be moving towards these changes in your life. If you make them, you'll be moving towards a much more relaxed you. But I've just seen these branches coming up off this. I actually feel like with that will come just so many more opportunities for you to be lighter and playful and happy and joyous. But I think this task feels so big. The emotions surrounding this feeling of needing to be perfect are actually so big at the moment. I can't see beyond that in this reading. I just know that there is just so much more available to you if you go easy on yourself and release this need, this feeling that you have made a cage of your own construction to present this perfect existence. None of us are perfect. None of us. We're all losing our shit in different ways, including you. Nobody expects you to be perfect. Nobody wants you to be perfect because it holds a mirror up to their imperfections. And that's where some of these negative feelings are coming from. People talking, aggression. I think it's passive aggression though, actually, more than actual aggression. That's where this is coming from. This discord among family or friends, that's where it's coming from. This, you working so hard to push this perfect appearance. They, whether consciously or not, know it's no one's up. It's not real, but yet it holds a mirror up to their own imperfections, and that's where there's conflict being caused, be it outward conflict or just conflict no one's talking about, but it's there. So take a breather, tune into your magic, release your blocks, find the inspiration and the clarity, and move forward. Do what it is you need to do. I know you wished for everything you have now. I know you did, and what you've achieved is amazing, and it's so hard to all the time keep up with everything, and you've been working so hard to do that, and that is to be admired, but it's not sustainable. And I'm now giving you the permission, and you need to give yourself the permission to just let some of it go. You know what's important and you know what's not, and you've just lost sight of things. A little bit of reprioritizing. You can do it. I can feel your lovely energy. I can feel your kindness and the lightheartedness that's within you that's stifled. Let it come out. People will love it. People love you already, and they're still going to love you, and they're going to love you even more, and you're going to like yourself a lot better. This has been your reading. I hope it resonated. This one was a tough one to hear, probably. But I hope it resonated. If it didn't, it's entertainment purposes. These readings are for entertainment purposes. They are collective readings, so it's very hard to get into nitty-gritty, but they are for entertainment purposes only. It might be, you got to tune into your own intuition and decide, is there something in that message that I heard? There usually is. But because it's a collective reading, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But be honest with yourself. Do tune into your intuition, because your instinct would be to push away a message that is hard to hear. But do sit with it and work out if it's for you. Anyway, if it has resonated, leave a like. That would be really appreciated. A comment would be fantastic. And also, really importantly, a subscription. If you would subscribe, small little channel, just trying to get out there. So it really, really helps. Thanks so much. Hope to catch you next time. Bye.